When I was younger, I remember playing Call of Duty Black Ops 1 in my cousin's basement on his PS3. You know, normal Call of Duty things like shooting and killing each other, being called words by grown men online that no kid our age should have ever heard. But one day, we grew balls. We were men. We decided to check out the Zombies mode. And boy, did that energy ever leave us quick, because we were scared shitless. His dad bought all the multiplayer DLC, which gave us access to every Zombies map that Black Ops 1 had to offer, and that game mode quickly became our new obsession. We were constantly trying to figure out how to beat the Zombies mode. I especially remember Call of the Dead because of how different it was. Silly us. I mean, you can't really blame us too much. The big zombie had a name the characters kept on addressing them as. We thought it was like story or something. Like the game was gonna tell us how to cure or kill him so we could win. Unfortunately, shooting him didn't yield the best results. We didn't know it was endless hordes. We didn't know really anything about the mode. We didn't use the internet to look anything up. And that to us was kind of part of the fun, figuring it out for yourself. Since then, I've been a big fan of zombies, at least in a casual sense. I don't care about watching a 2-hour video on how Richtofen's cock size has any plot relevance. I play the game every once in a while, and I even have a few Easter eggs under my belt. But that being said, I've never really looked forward to any of the newer installments of this game mode. They never really seemed or looked like they would capture what made zombies zombies to me, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. Many people do. But why is that? Well, that's what Bori's asking. I feel like I should briefly talk about how Zombies was first found, so let me paint this picture for you. Imagine this. You just beat the Call of Duty World at War story mode. It was intense, but overall, a pretty good experience. You let the credits run, thinking it's all over, but you couldn't be more wrong. You wake up in a rundown building, equipped with only a handgun and a pitifully low amount of ammo. You walk around, exploring this strange, eerie setting you found yourself in, until suddenly, you see hordes of undead monsters tearing down the walls just to get one thing: you. You fight for as long as you can, but eventually, you succumb to your hopeless fate. Now, how do you think that shit led us to whatever the fuck this is? The older Zombies is much different than how modern Zombies is. And while different doesn't necessarily mean bad, I definitely have personal problems with how they've been running the series lately. I remember Cold War was the first Zombies game I played where I genuinely remember thinking that this is not a good direction we're going in. Let me try to explain. So, in Black Ops 1, you spawn in a random map you've never been in before with just a pistol and your hopes and dreams. Good luck. In Cold War, you spawn in a map you've never been in before, but you know exactly where to go because the game tells you, and you get to spawn in with any loadout you want. Which not only makes the first few rooms and wall buys just obsolete, you can conserve its ammo up till round 11 because your knife, if it's maxed out, can one-shot them. But I'll get into that system later. And most people will just be like, well, if you don't like it, then bring a pistol yourself. And I hate that so much. Because one, they changed the point system, so you don't get points per shot. You get points only when you get the kill, so the pistols are completely obsolete in this game mode. And two, at least to me, the whole point of Zombies is to feel unprepared and hopeless. To have that looming knowledge in the back of your head that at any moment the run can be over. Whether it be from like poor positioning or poor ammo distribution, and that's another thing. No matter what gun you're running, there are these ammo crates in like literally every single room that lets you refill your ammo for cheap. So you're never punished for not properly conserving your ammo or missing every single shot because you know at any moment you can just get it all back. Cold War also adds this tier-based leveling system. It allows you to upgrade your weapons, perks, and the newly introduced bullet mods. I'm pretty sure these were added to make your custom classes not as overpowered when you start the game, but once you have it all upgraded, the game is like baby levels of easy. This is supposed to be a difficult game mode that's working against you, and even when you don't have the levels, the game is still kind of holding your hand. BO3 had a leveling system as well, but that was for individual guns, and all it did was let you put like attachments on it, like sights. It really didn't change much gameplay-wise. They even added these like little ability sprays. I don't know what they're called. I'll put it on screen right now. These are busted. I haven't really tried the other ones, but the healing one is really broken. Basically, if you have it max upgraded, it's just a get out of jail free card. It constantly heals you, knocks zombies back, and even revives every one of your teammates on the map if they're downed. These were all really terrible ideas. Like the things that they're giving you base kit are things you used to get from like wonder weapons and stuff. I don't know what they were thinking to this day. Zombies now have a chance to drop scrap, which you can use at stations like this armor station and make, well, armor. Well, I mean, if your maxed out Juggernog wasn't enough, you might as well have just made Juggernog 2 and it would have been just as bullshit as this. You can also go to a crafting bench and make stuff like grenades and anything under that umbrella, and it really just feels pointless, like they were just trying to add as much things as possible. I never used this one time while playing. The mystery box also changed, and I'm very disappointed. The box should always be a luck of the draw mechanic, and they do something with that I really like by giving the guns random attachments. That does feel random, and it does feel good for the box. Sometimes it feels like shit, like when you get a suppressor. It's not like you need to be silent, the zombies know where you are at all times. But regardless, I think it's a good mechanic. But of course, zombies had to fuck up somewhere. The amount of attachments that a gun can get in the mystery box are determined by its rarity. And I really don't like that at its core. The idea that two shotguns with the same name could do different damage because they're different rarities, it doesn't feel great. Especially because the rarity is tied to the round. Yes, you heard me right. You have a higher chance of getting a higher rarity weapon depending on the round you're on. Which completely goes against what the mystery box is supposed to be, that being random, and forces your early game to just be shit all the time. Like, there's no point of hitting the box in the beginning of the match because you know it's just going to be garbage. Sure, there's a chance that you get something good, but it's so small, I'm serious, there's no point. You can really tell that the higher rounds give you higher rarity weapons because at some point, I was only able to get legendary weapons. The wall buys also abide by this rule that they get higher rarity the higher the round you're on, and like that's better, I guess, because they're wall buys, but again, you'll never have to buy a wall buy. The game spoils you way too much. I don't know if anybody who ever complained about the mystery box, I don't know what made them think they had to change the mystery box of all things, but the least you could have done was, make a better change if you're going to change it anyways. People like to gamble, that's why people like the mystery box. Why would you put weights on the wheel they're spinning? Just try giving somebody with a gambling addiction a slot machine that will never let them win, and I promise you're disappearing the next day. It's easy to get high rounds, so it's not like you'll never get a wonder weapon if you really put time into the game. But again, that defeats the whole purpose of the mystery box. I shouldn't have to wait till round 20 or 30 to get something good. I should be getting it at any point randomly. It's a mystery box. Another thing to complain about is the screen clutter. Can someone please tell me why I would ever need to know the individual point distribution on every zombie I kill? There's health bars now, I couldn't tell you why. I'd see it being useful if I needed to watch how much ammo I'm using, but it's Cold War, so I don't. There's also a minimap now, which, fine. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. I don't see why you'd need it. The maps aren't that big, but here they are. And speaking of maps, that's the last thing I'm going to mention. They are not that great. None of these maps really stand out to me. They're not really special at all. You can really tell they weren't trying because they took a story mode map and turned it into a zombies map. Like, it wasn't inspired by it or they took some assets. Like, it is the actual map. Can anyone in the comments really tell me if you're ever excited to revisit a Cold War map? The maps also feel way too open. Like, there's so much dead space for no reason. It's too easy to run around the zombies. Look at the roof portion from this map, which I don't remember the name of. I couldn't be bothered to give a fuck about it. There's nothing here. You can just run around in circles forever. Now here's the roof of Mob of the Dead from Black Ops 2. Do you see the problem? I'm not against the game becoming easier, but I don't like the game feeling like it's in a tutorial mode all the time. I'm not one of those weirdos that think that zombies shouldn't change. I'm okay with the game changing and becoming better. For example, I like how you don't have to reload during max ammo anymore, it does it for you. I like that while you're drinking a perk soda, you can still shoot, and you can reload while aiming in. Though I'm pretty sure it's because it runs off the same code as the multiplayer mode. I feel like if they were tasked with removing it, they wouldn't do it anyway. Regardless, I like those specific changes. They make the game feel less slow. Okay, is there anything I'm missing? Oh yeah, the Pack-a-Punch ammo mods, they're fine. They kind of turn whatever weapon you want into a wonder weapon. So there's that. I think that's it. Time for a closing statement. Cold War zombies can be summed up to zombies, but Warzone. I think it was around this time that they were writing out the success of Warzone, so they were trying to make everything feel like it, and it really didn't work out here. And it's really disappointing to see what happened with the maps, because they clearly had good ideas. There's a part in one of the maps that I don't remember the name of, where there's a train that runs by and it's on fire. It looks really cool, but the problem is it's only one small portion of the map. You never see it anywhere else. You can clearly tell they were capable of making good ideas, they just made more shit ideas, and it really ruined the mode for me. But that's all I have to say about Cold War. Now let's go to the latest entry in the series, Black Ops 7 Zombies. Oh yeah, there's this one part in Firebase Z in Cold War where you used to be able to jump on this balcony and they removed it. That made me not want to play the map ever again. It sucks. 0 out of 10. This game is awful. As of making this video, Black Ops 7 is the latest Zombies installment in the series. And spoiler alert, this shit's ass. Listen, I don't like sounding negative all the time, nobody does, but every problem I have with Cold War is present in this game. Whether it's better or worse, that's up for you to decide. I'm not even lying, it got to the point where I really didn't even want to make this segment of the video. I just didn't enjoy playing it that much. I had to get a friend to play with me. This is a real DM I had with him. That's not to say this game is terrible. I mean, this game and Cold War, when they're standing on their own, they can stand. But this series has a legacy it has to live up to, and it doesn't every single time, so I'm going to be more harsh about it. Anyways, let's jump right into it with the maps. As of recording this, there are 3 maps in the game, and I'm gonna go over them kinda briefly. I don't want to spend too long on them. Just keep in mind, I put a few hours into all these maps. Ashes of the Damned was the first map ever released with Black Ops 7 Zombies. This map was supposed to be the successor to Transit, and I was like, oh, awesome, they're gonna remake Transit. That's exactly what everybody wanted. No, it's a reimagining, and it's not that good. The whole gimmick of this map is instead of waiting for a bus to come back, you drive a truck yourself, and it's not that bad. I like how most of the things you do on the map revolve around the truck, like Pack-a-Punch. One of the most annoying things for an open map is having to run back to a previous location to get something like a perk, so I'm glad the most important thing in the game is stuck to your truck. The bear mini-boss is pretty cool, the Necrofluid Gauntlet is pretty cool as well. But you know what isn't pretty cool? The roads in between zones. You are almost always going to take damage because these things auto-lock onto your truck. There's actually no way to dodge them. They're obviously there so you don't spend too much time between zones and it's supposed to make it dangerous, I get that. But if you're gonna make me physically drive the truck, at least let me try to dodge them, you know what I mean? This is almost the same reason why people hated the denizens, and at least you're able to do something about it. It wasn't just random chance, like maybe it's gonna teleport onto your head, maybe it's not. The generators for the different zones just reinforce the exact same problem I had with Cold War, which is ammo isn't important anymore. It takes 2 mags to destroy it. Shotguns are better, but I still shouldn't have to waste ammo on something like this. If it was an Easter egg, I could forgive it, but it's not. This is just the base way to turn on power. In a game about a zombie apocalypse, why am I just allowed to ignore ammo? I'm sure there's a lot of cases you can make in favor of this map, but to me, it's just a reminder of what I don't like about the series. Astra Malorum is a traditional zombies map that doesn't try to focus on the open world aspect this game is so desperately trying to push for, which is good for me because those are the kind of maps that make zombies zombies to me. The only problem is this map is so fucking boring. Even getting Pack-a-Punch was a snooze fest to me. I was so out of it. This map is not fun to look at. It's so bland to me. Like, we already did zombies in space and we did it 1,000 times better years ago. Obviously, you can use the same ideas, but you already failed to make a fucking Transit remake. I don't see how you're gonna do Moon. I think, like, lore-wise, we're in the ether right now, so it's not technically space, but, like, that doesn't really cover for the fact that this place is still boring and lifeless to look at. The opposite can be said about the Wonder Weapon and the mini-boss of this map, though. I love them so much. They're so full of life and colorful and have a personality, and then they put them in this bland, nothing, gray map. It's like seeing Phineas in a Mortal Kombat roster. It just doesn't fit. Instead of Hellhounds, this map and Ashes of the Damned have Ravagers, and they're fine. I think they eat things that are left on the ground. Don't quote me on that. I couldn't see it happen. I only heard it. Anyways, the problem I have with this map at its core is the same problem I have with every other map. And that is that there is way too much open dead space. I don't know, I feel like your spawn room shouldn't feel like it's the same size as the entirety of Verrückt. Presentation-wise, it's all so boring to me. The only thing that would ever make me come back to this map is the Wonder Weapon and the mini-boss. And finally, we have Paradox Junction, and I actually like this one. Crazy, right? I know, Boy likes a BO7 map. I wonder why that is. I don't know, maybe it's because they used a map that they already made a long time ago, back when they knew how to make good maps. I can already see the comments now. Oh, Boy, you're fucking blinded by nostalgia. Shut up, shut up, shut up. That is not why. Of course this map is laid out in a good way, because they've already made this map 1,000 times. It's in every Black Ops game. I promise you the fact that it's Nuketown does nothing for me. I just like that it's laid out like a zombies map should be laid out. Little to no dead space, fun to look at setting. Hell, I wish the map was larger. It's the smallest map out of the 3. This map has a gimmick where you go back and forth through time, and I thought that was really cool. And then I realized you only use it one time. Yes, quite possibly one of the coolest features we've had in a long time is used one time to move this truck, and that is it. Everything else regarding this mechanic is entirely for the Easter egg. And that's really disappointing because it is such a cool and unique way to open the map. Mob of the Dead is one of the most loved maps in the entirety of this series, and one of the reasons is because it had a really unique way to open the map. Can you tell I like Mob of the Dead? The Blundergat is literally the Wonder Weapon of this map. How did they fuck this up? The map is supposed to be a simple survival map, so getting Pack-a-Punch is also simple, but again, I really wish they used the time travel mechanic for it. The Plague Hounds make a return, which are just Hellhounds, a fan favorite, that are mixed with the Nova Crawlers. Nobody fucking likes them. See, I don't dislike the Plague Hounds, but they are not made for this map. When they die just like a Nova Crawler and release this gas cloud, and because the Nuketown map is so small, it really fucks with you. I mean, it's cool to have a mechanic that forces the player to go a non-desired route, but when there's only one fucking route, I don't know if that's a good idea. This map proves they have decent ideas, they just somehow manage to fumble every time. The time travel thing is so underutilized, and every couple of rounds it teleports you to the alternate timeline, so it becomes an annoyance because you don't do anything there. Even the spot where you force activate the teleport sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't know what they were thinking when they placed this here. They should have put it behind the bunker in the backyard of one of the houses instead of just putting it out here. It's so ugly. Anyways, Paradox Junction is definitely a step in the right direction, and for the love of God, Treyarch, keep walking in that direction. Moving away from the maps, Black Ops 7 allows you to save your game, and I really like this. Whether you're doing a long Easter egg and taking a break, or you want to hop off and play a better game, you can always save your game and you don't have to lose all of your progress. Also, the Omni movement, really good for a game like this. It wasn't really a big deal to have to look in the direction you wanted to sprint, but having this option anyways is pretty nice. You can also split the bill on doors. You or a teammate could put 1,000 points on a door, then come back later to buy the rest. You can even do this on the portal in Paradox Junction. Black Ops 7 also reintroduces the... I just drew a blank. Gobblegums! Yay! And if I'm being honest, they're much better here than they are in Black Ops 3. I don't have every Gobblegum, so I can't say much about what they do or the balancing, but the mechanic itself is really good. Basically, you can hold 3 at a time and you can choose between which ones you want to pop. If you get a Gobblegum that you don't want or don't currently need, you can convert them into points. The holding 3 at a time thing doesn't really do too much for me, I don't really care about that, but the converting it into points thing, that one is really well done. Black Ops 7 also introduces the TED challenges. During your game, a TED machine will spawn somewhere randomly in the map. You can go to it and accept the challenge. It will then give you a random challenge you have to do. The more you do it, the better the stuff you get at the end. These are fun, worthwhile optional challenges, but I wish they were only in Ashes of the Damned. And that's mostly because you need Ted's head to work the truck, and then once you do that, he's just fucking there, he doesn't do anything. If the TED challenges were something that he occasionally gave you while you were driving, it would have been a lot better. Because if we're being honest here, he's really only here for fan service, and BO7 does a lot of fan service. Paradox Junction is the 3rd zombies version of Nuketown we've ever gotten. And I called these things Plague Hounds earlier, they're actually called Rad Hounds for radiation. Did you know that? Of course you didn't, because they just took something they already had and gave it a different name and told you it was something new. Why the fuck would they do? Oh wait, they've been doing that a lot. Even some of Ashes of the Damned's locations are supposed to remind you of old maps. And like, fan service isn't a bad thing, but like, when it's all you have, it's not a good thing. But anyways, moving on from that, every complaint I had about Cold War can be applied here. They didn't revert the point system, so it sucks. The loadouts are back, and the field upgrades. I don't know what made you think it was okay to give the player this when they just spawned in without having to make them work for it, so it sucks. The ammo mods are back and they're their own machine. It just feels like you're adding extra shit for the sake of adding extra shit. It sucks. I don't know if the mystery box is tied to the round anymore. I don't think it is, but if it is, it sucks. And if not, good job. But the number one thing that I hated about Cold War, and they brought it back and somehow made it worse, was the tier system. The way it works is you pick one perk or ammo mod at a time to research. And to get research, you kind of just play the game. And eventually, you'll unlock it. You can then equip whatever you researched to that perk. You also don't get to choose what perk or ammo mod you want to do off rip. You need to level up the previous ones a certain amount so you can unlock the next one. And unlike Cold War, which maxes out at tier 5, BO7 maxes out at tier 9. The fact I need to mention this is insane, but COD Zombies is not an MMORPG. The idea that one player will be better off than another player in anything that's not related to skill or game knowledge is insane to me. What's next? You're gonna add skill-based matchmaking to zombies? Get the fuck out. BO7 Zombies further proves that they're trying to make the game feel like Warzone. And I get they're doing that because they want more people to try the game, but you're trying to appease the wrong audience here. I mean, sure, in the beginning there's gonna be a huge amount of players that are playing the game, but that's gonna be very short-lived. The lengths you go to make this game feel like Warzone is going to turn your already established audience away from your game, and the Warzone/multiplayer players are also going to just leave because why would they play Warzone Zombies for $100 when they could just play Warzone for free? I'm not even lying, there's a Teen Titans Go episode that goes over this concept. For your sake and ours, stop trying to cater to the Warzone players, they're fucking miserable. Zombies was best when it was unique. Trying to make it like everything else is going to take away what made Zombies special to everyone. So what should they do? Make your team play the old Call of Duty Zombies games from World at War to Black Ops 3, because I'm sure 90% of them has never even fucking touched those games. See what made the modes so successful before. Unique map mechanics, maps you can defer from other maps aesthetically. Every part of the map serving some sort of purpose instead of just being open dead space. Zombies doesn't need to be changed with loadouts and tier-based systems and fucking field upgrades that make you a demigod. My idea is instead of ruining an entire system and making every map terrible, add these systems to one specific map. If people like it, then you did a good job and people will go and replay that map. If people don't like it, they don't have to play that one map and the rest of the maps can learn from it and be better. Transit and Die Rise of BO2 were cool in concept, but they were really terrible gameplay-wise. But regardless of that, BO2 still went on to be one of the most favorited zombies games of all time because the other maps were so good. The way you run these games now feels like you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and if it doesn't go good, you're like, oh, well, we'll try better in BO8. Nostalgia is always going to be a big talking point for this argument, and I get that. But you and I both know that's not why these games are bad. They just don't make them like they used to. Reminding people of how the game used to be good is not going to help you make a good game. Again, these games aren't bad on their own, but as a series entry, they're terrible. I can see why somebody would enjoy this experience, but I could really see why people don't. This series barely remembers what it is and is trying so desperately to tell you that it hasn't changed. But it has. It's not Call of Duty Zombies anymore. It's just Call of Duty with zombies. Hey, end of video, Blabori here. Did you like that video? Of course you did. It's a 20-minute video and you made it to the end of it. I always want to try to make different formatted videos and things I've never tried before. And I also really care deeply about this series, so I wanted to make a video about it. I'm proud of what I've done. I hope I did a good job, but I'm sure there was a lot more mistakes in this video than there is with BO7 entirely. But still, I'm glad I did it. I had fun doing it. Except for playing the games, I really didn't have fun doing that. I do like to learn about other people's opinions, so I'd like for anybody who has any strong opinions against or with what I've said to leave them in the comments below so I can read them. If you liked this video or any of the random shit I've been posting on YouTube for the last almost 2 years, please consider coming back. There's a big red button somewhere under me that will let you know every single time I post a video if I ever do again. Thank you for watching, have a good day, and bleh!